Kaboom! And there she is, the lady of the day. And good afternoon, everybody. It is a super special day on the Rancho today. Why, you may ask? Because at about this time of day, exactly 5 years ago, Missy Jenn arrived on the Rancho and has been in residence as the Barbara Stanwyck of the Big Valley here. She's been the big overseer of the Rancho for 5 years. JK NoCal, Harvey, Ontario chick, everybody. Very nice to see you today. If you haven't, take a moment. We've got 55 people in. Take a moment and hit that thumbs up button and show some love today. It is always much appreciated. So, Lacey Jenkins, no need to type in all caps. Welcome to you. I usually see everybody's message. Mr. Z, between jobs, nice to see you. Mr. Z, don't bring anything with you except yourself. Okay, we've got everything covered. Izzy, nice to see you. Hello, Cheryl. I always appreciate you guys taking time to do that. Hello, Joseph, Quirky Girl, Izzy, Isabel, Snicker, and Beryl. Nice to see all you guys. As you know, hey, Richard Clark, I do always try to acknowledge the side chat, even when I'm in a real sticky situation in Oakland or some hell zone. I'm still watching the chat. There's Tom Finland. Nice to see you, Reachable, and Julie Pulley. If Oda May will be here, she's very good. I'm not sure if she'll be in or not. Hey, Shorty, I'm not sure. Hey, Beverly, he's moving to West Point, New York. All right, that's awesome. West Point, New York. You'll be able to catch all the Army games up there, right? And you'll be able to also visit Hyde Park, the home of Franklin D. Roosevelt, lovely Saratoga Springs around that area. It's a really beautiful area. Vicky says, Missy Jenn takes beautiful care of the Rancho. Susan Brown, how are you, my doll? Edith McNutt, nice to see you. Very nice to see you. Easy Money. It was Steffi W, everybody. It was quite a road for Miss Harvey. I'm sorry you're having a tough day today. You know it happens, Harvey, but I really need this chat to concentrate on Missy Jenn and her experience on the Rancho today. You enjoyed the Red Lobster review. I didn't really enjoy eating it, so I'm glad that you enjoyed the review. Save your money. You know, what was it, Jen? Really, July of 2013. I'd only been on a couple months, but Nicole and Francis and who else would be on there? Shay. We would have private chats on Google before you. Anyway, thanks for being here and happy anniversary to you. 5 years on the Rancho.
Thank you. Domo arigato, arigato.
I was introduced to, hey, Uber Goober, Shauna. I was introduced, Indy, to Missy Jenn by virtue of the fact, I'm not sure who had you in, but I'd followed Missy Jenn for a couple of years prior on YouTube to really starting my own channel. Okay, because she was trans and all that, would do her hangouts. But we got together through those hangouts. And as I got to know Missy Jenn, I did an initial trip out. We were talking in July. and August, almost every day. Nicole would be on there, Shay would be on there, Francis, it was almost a daily thing. And Missy Jenn had Sprint, and sometimes she could be there. She was very limited in your connectivity. We didn't have the unlimited like we have. I mean, down in the area that you were living.
I had unlimited data, but we had a lot of data outages and invisible workers working on the.
Don't ever tell Missy Jenn if you call to complain, if she calls to complain about the cell service in Missouri where she lives, and then they tell her, "Oh, don't worry, we got guys working out on the tower." Well, she get in her car, drive out to the damn tower, call them back and say there's not a soul in sight. The lock doesn't look like it's been moved. There's weeds growing through the fence area. Ain't a soul been out.
And then they said, well, they're at the other tower. So I drove up to the other tower, which was about 2 miles away from the old tower. And there was not a soul there either. And I'm like, I'm at the other tower and there ain't nobody here unless your workers are invisible. They said, well, they must have just left.
Yeah, she's on top. Don't bullshit.
I said, don't be BSing me, man.
Because she,
I'm taking no crap.
She liked her time with the Rosie girl. Eventually, after hanging out in July and August, I actually took a trip out to see Missy Jenn in Missouri, and we went out to the Truman Lake reservoirs. We had a date out to our first date on what was that, Pizza Hut out there. All these videos are up there on the channel. You know, Rosie never, it's like a closet full of crap. There's everything is in there. And it's the original playlist from my first trip to see Missy Jenn in October of 2014. Well, we got on pretty good on that trip. And I came back in December.
December for Christmas, that's right.
At Christmas time out there. And yeah, just think how lonely and unfulfilled your life would be without Missy Jenn. Yeah, she's the boss. She's the overseer here. You remember the movie Cool Hand Luke, where Luke had to pee and runs down the hill, and boss said, "You better be shaking that tree, Luke." "I'm shaking it, boss. I'm shaking it."
Yeah, shaking hard.
Missy Jenn. Went out in December. We had a really good time. We went up to Independence, went up to the Truman Library, and saw some family up in Independence. We had a great time. I think we saw a UFO in the sky at that time too, as I recall.
Yeah.
Coming home, and we decided at that time that you would come out to California, and this was quite news to your family out there, because they envisioned life a certain way for you, and it wasn't a slam dunk, right? I mean, Missy Jenn, when I first knew her, before I ever went out on a video's feed, she said, "There's something I ought to tell you and show you."
Thank you, Vanessa.
And I'm all excited thinking, And even though I'd followed Missy Jenn for years, she never whined, complained, or disclosed that she had MS, and you spent a good measure of your time in like a power chair at home. And I mean, you still had some mobility and things. But for full disclosure, she said, before you come out, you ought to know.
Right.
And I think I said something, well, I'm a fucktard, so, it's...
I want to make it a big surprise when you come to the door and you're like, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah, what the heck?
What's going on?
Hey, Monique.
Hi, Kevin.
Yeah. So thank you, Shannon. So, I arrived out there and saw Missy. It didn't really make no never mind to me, because I already knew Missy Jenn was a warrior, having just gone through her gender reassignment surgery, and while we were knowing each other, undergoing 2 hip replacement therapies, spaced pretty close together, weren't they, Jen?
Yeah, within like 4 months.
Yeah. So I already knew what Missy Jenn was going through.
Hello, Mallory.
Hi, Mallory. But the one thing that I really thought that I could do for Missy Jenn, because she was getting adequate medical intervention in Missouri, but she was dealing with a neurologist who was as most neurologists, they're covering off a lot of different neurological issues. And try as this guy could, he was a nice guy. You know, he was a nice doctor.
Yeah, he was. Right? He was like a father, father figure.
But I always got the sense that, how you doing, everybody? I'd always gotten the sense that Missy Jenn was kind of written off as, well, you know, off into the sunset, and, you know, we can make you comfortable, but don't expect a lot of interventions. Some of Missy Jenn's treatments with steroids had destroyed her hips to begin with, and things were kind of, you know, when you have primary progressive multiple sclerosis, it's you know, we all know we're going to go sometime, but you think that you're going to go for sure sooner than everybody else. Yeah. And you start thinking, what am I going to do when I'm incapacitated? My aunt passed away from MS, and you know, you have a lot of worries in your mind. So I didn't really think that she was getting the focused care that she needed. And I broached the subject of moving her out. And, you know, I love Missy Jenn from the get-go. And I broached the topic. I kind of grew on her, you know. I kind of broached the... You chime in anytime and tell them that's not true. There's love at first sight now. But I talked to her about coming out because I knew that the UCSF, the University of California.
Hi, Josh.
San Francisco, hey, Josh, medical system had one of the finest dedicated multiple sclerosis staff of physicians in the world, world class. Not only were some of the physicians treating physicians, but they were also research physicians. Besides their doctorate in medicine, they were also doctorates in biochemistry, you know, PhDs. And they were fascinated in moving treatments forward and trying to, how you doing, Odame? And trying to, and I'm glad you're here, Odame, because I'm going to ask you to drop some links. I'm going to ask you to open up the browser also on the Rosie Murphy channel too, as well as this one.
Hi, Dr. family.
So we talked about moving Missy Jenn to California, and it was quite, you know, there was some sadness. You know, if you've been with family, as Missy Jenn had for 12 years over there, and then you're going to be uprooted, all your crap's going to be packed into a U-Haul, and you're going to be driving 1,800 miles to a place you don't even know. And the first thing that Missy Jenn's like, I hate the politics of California. I said, you know, she came from, right, the northern fringe of the Ozarks and country, you know, gun-toting, open carry, no worries.
Yeah, carried open all the time, Nick. Carried concealed all the time.
Yeah, of course, Josh, we will pray for you going to the eye doctor. And it took a little bit of work. She thought about it for a while. Her family knew at the end of it all that she would have a better shot of a better life out here if she could get better medical care. Also, a better climate. You don't have the outrageous humidity and heat. You don't have the brutal cold winters and the snowfall, although we have a lot of rain. She finally decided to move out. The funny thing, maybe it wasn't so funny, 2 weeks before she was due to come out. Yeah, it was like February. And while I just finished being on a solo hangout with her in Missouri and me here, some drunk woman came down the street here in her BMW, drunk out of her mind, drove off the road, across the lawn, and took out the corner of the house. Here. I'm sitting in there finishing with Missy Jenn, and I heard the whole damn house shake. The woman had plowed her car into the corner of the house, and the only saving grace is that I had put in a high planter bed retaining wall out of concrete, and that stopped her car cold. Had that planter bed not been there, she would have driven the car through the corner fence and into the neighbor's bedroom window. Okay? So I want to owe to May, that's in February 2014. I think it's called Some Dick Runs Into the House or something like that. It smashed into her house. So not only did she decide to come, but I had to contend with that little nightmare to eventually rebuild here on the Rancho. Now, I have a few playlists down in my on my main page. It's you know, a tribute to Missy Jenn. You can see some of her glam gal pictures. Lovely woman, the beauty queen. I've done some individual videos of her. And I was very delighted when she came out. I think it's on the Rosie O'Kelly channel. Put in my search box, just some dick ran into the house, you know, took out the corner or something like that. Could not believe it. Could not believe it. So it was quite a day when we packed up in Missouri. I flew into Missouri. Your friend picked me up. He was in tears, Tom, who now lives in the Central Valley. This guy was in absolute tears. Your family was in tears. And I thought like I was stealing like the Russian bride at age 14. Right? When I'm leaving out of town, like undercover.
In the cover of darkness, we went to, I already had moved all my stuff out in the cover of darkness to a storage facility at the edge of town. So we didn't even have to come up with the U-Haul to the house. We had to just go outside of town.
Yeah, she's done well. She's inspired a lot of people with her journey.
Yeah, you can go to Jenn and Rosie Reality TV.
Yeah.
See some of my videos about my...
You can also see some videos before she came, because honest to God, I thought Missy Jenn within 2 years would be totally and completely incapacitated when she got to the Rancho. So my top priority was to build a wheelchair ramp for the front entrance.
I was going to be dead in 2 years.
And there's a 3-part series building a wheelchair ramp to accommodate Missy Jenn. I just barely got the concrete work done before I had to head out and pick her up. We got a U-Haul, hooked it on the back of her Escape, and we headed west. And I'll never forget that first day when we're driving and we get to Kansas and we get to that toll booth. You remember that?
Yeah, a truck plowed right into the only toll booth on the highway that goes from the east to the west coast. Fell asleep and plowed right into the toll booth.
Couldn't believe it. Russian guy went flying right through the windshield, dead on impact. The only toll on I-70 in the U.S., and this guy plowed right through it. There's the lost a corner of her house to some dick. There's the video there if you haven't seen that. You can see her BMW parked in the side of my house. Okay. She said that she had been drinking because her horse died. Had mommy's BMW. Okay, well, I finally ended up getting the insurance settlement. You can see the videos. I rebuilt the corner of the house myself and did all that. It's better than other people come in and do that work. But on April 1st, 2014, Missy Jenn arrived on the Rancho. The video is there of her arrival. Our whole journey through blizzards, through sandstorms, through some pretty wild weather, some pretty shitty people in motels, having Georgie and Mandy. Some of you don't know, Missy Jenn came with 2 dogs. One was a Shar-Pei mix. Dog never really liked me. It's like just tolerated me, but you know.
Mandy was just really a one person.
Which was February of 2014. It's not so important. Yeah, all these videos are on the playlist. Missy Jenn's move to California, all that kind of stuff. So the big issue was also meeting the boss and Janet, because they were kind of opposed. Not so much Janet, but the boss was pretty strident in his opposition. You know, I think he worried that I was going to be taking on a lot. And I think he was also worried because the boss is very sensitive. Hi, Polly. The boss is also very sensitive, my friend, the boss. You see him in here is Dave Dickey. He's very sensitive to being emotionally involved in people. You know, once you emotionally invest in somebody. For example, 2 days ago, the neighbor wife passed away, and he's been absolutely distraught this week. He's very, very sensitive. Hey, Sister Earth. Yes, it's the 5-year anniversary of Missy Jenn being on the Rancho. So we made it here. Your family bid you farewell. She got here, and within 60 days, we were down at UCSF.
Mm-hmm.
And you were under care of one of the foremost neurologists in the nation. And this guy just kept moving forward, kept trying things, and he would always tell us what's new on the horizon, what's coming. But Missy Jenn, let me let you talk a bit now. What did you think initially about moving to California and about, your first arrival here? I mean, you had a lot of family, you had other people that you were deep in that community where you lived.
Yeah, I did my transition there, so I had deep roots there. Deep roots. 12 years in a community, and and across the county and beyond, and made a lot of friends, and it was hard to leave the friends behind, but it was also good to start something new, something fresh. And yeah, so I remember when we basically got here, the most impressive thing actually that was when I stepped out on the back porch, basically, that was wow. That was the wow factor.
That was the Rancho. Yeah, I know I have too many videos. There's Missy Jenn on the road to Cali there. And on April 1st of 2014, she arrived on the Rancho. It was cold. It was still raining a little bit that day. You adjusted well. The next big issue was meeting the boss and Janet, because I was a big-time distiller, moonshiner at that time, and I knew we were going to be running some moonshine. I often did Saturday videos when we would be running some shine, and Missy Jenn had to meet the boss and Janet. And then at that point onward, everything was great. You met Bobby, met you day one.
Yeah,
Bobby
came
had a rose
over the
for
very
each of us.
same day, and I was just immediately blown away by how wonderful Bobby is. And when he came that very same day over and to meet me, and then,
gave us a red rose, and
yeah, and
each of us welcomed Missy Jenn, and has loved her ever since.
yeah,
And we've been on all the hijinks and all the things. You know, when I first knew Missy Jenn, and I would visit her periodically, she would try to get up and do something, and sometimes she would lock up, and she wouldn't be good for like a half hour, couldn't talk, just mumbling issy baba, or just some unintelligible kind of speech. And to look at Missy Jenn today and see, due to the wonders, and I don't want to overstate stuff because she's still she's still disabled. Make no mistake about it. But the one thing you see today with Missy Jenn is hope, tremendous hope for the future, and a realization that her primary progressive multiple sclerosis has reached a point where it stopped progressing because of this wonderful Genentech. And every time we curse drug companies, we also have to remember that they're also the font of greatness too for people. And in Missy Jenn's case, every time she gets one of these infusions spaced every 6 months apart, it's approximately $100,000 per. So it's not cheap. Is she worth it? Of course. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of research into that. Once we got here on the Rancho too, it wasn't long till I put Missy Jenn to work. My biggest fear was the step-in bathtub that we had was not going to be adequate for Missy Jenn. So we gutted the whole bathroom starting on June 21st, 2014. And by September 15th, we had a brand new bathroom with a below grade floor at the shower with no barrier that Missy Jenn could roll into if she ever needed to in a wheelchair. Have a chair that pulls down from the wall and have a handheld shower thing so she could take care of herself. Another mega project. One that probably scared the hell out of you.
that was a hell of a project. When we got to the point where the walls were out, the floor was out, and you were cutting the stovepipe off, and that's when I just thought, what the hell are we doing here?
You thought we're never going to get this bathroom
We
back
are way
together.
over our heads in this thing.
I'm standing on the ground.
I think I'm gonna pack my stuff and leave. This is like too much.
Every bit of that flooring was rotten. Every bit of the understructure was rotten. It all had to be rebuilt. New timber had to be sistered or joined
The hole
onto
cut in the
existing.
wall for the glass.
Yeah, the glass block wall and all the
Which is
electrical,
totally great.
plumbing, all that stuff we had to knock off, cutting a bathtub in two and getting it the hell out of there. All those playlists are there on the either here or on the Rosie Murphy channel. If you want to see, I think it came out to about a 28-part series on the Rosie Murphy channel. But these were things that were done with love, because I didn't want to ever have a day where Missy Jenn might slip trying to get a shower. And, you know, I just finished renovating the whole Shine Shack and converting that into a granny unit. So there were a lot of big projects that surrounded us here. And Missy Jenn was extremely helpful. She was cleaning up every day. We hauled out, I don't know how many wheelbarrows full of shit.
Yeah, it was a big pile out there. And then we
Huge
actually
pile.
took pictures sitting on the throne.
Yeah. There's some crazy thumbnails out there.
We did have some fun doing the whole thing.
We made it.
We prevailed. We got her done.
And this lady, once I did the basic construction and renovation work all around the Rancho, the concrete retaining walls out front. I don't even want to get into the shit that came when I first moved here, but she's been instrumental in caring for the place. And, I'm not the neatest person. I'm not quite Elvis grade, but I'm not, Missy Jenn's all typical German,
neat
BMW precision, Mercedes Benz, right? She's very neat and orderly. And we always said, it's like the Odd Couple. She's like Felix and I'm like Oscar, right? Do 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 do. No, yeah, I don't know. We've not been down to the. We've not been down to that parade. We've been to the Guerneville Pride one, but it's really been great to have her 5 years. And now, when I come in the house and I say, "Honey, I've got some really great news for you today," what do you always say?
Are you leaving? Are you moving out? Or are you going on a long trip?
Like, are you hitting the road now?
Are you going on a trip for 3 months?
Hey, Claire. Yeah.
I got your bags packed.
Yes,
I'm sitting in the hallway.
Like, just tell me the day you're getting on the road.
I'm gonna help you put stuff in the car, and you can be on your way.
I'll stand out there with a little tweet and bye.
Bon voyage. Au revoir.
Don't let the door.
Goodbye.
Don't let the door. Hey, Ben. How you doing, Ben?
Das vidania.
It's been, Jen, what would you say your greatest memories and your worst memories here on the Rancho? What would you say your best memories?
Best memories are, I think, first Christmas was nice.
Yeah, let's drill down on that because you never had a Christmas tree.
The big Christmas tree.
You actually cried here in the.
Tears in my eyes.
Yeah. When she saw that tree and that beauty of that tree, you just stood there and cried. To have the Christmas, all the decorations, and everything. Hey, Liz. Because I'm that kind of asshole that likes to decorate. Have a zillion lights up and then complain when the electric
bill comes. Yeah. So. We have the tree on for 2 days, and then as soon as Christmas is up,
that fucking tree out.
Get that tree out of here.
You didn't turn that tree on, did you? You didn't have that tree running today.
It's out. The lights are off, and the tree is out.
We're exaggerating.
Chopped up and it comes. But no, it was the first Christmas was spectacular.
We had trips to Vegas, San Diego.
Yeah, it's a lot of beautiful trips.
You've seen a lot of California?
Seen a lot of
LA?
California.
So now you've reached the point where...
I've also have been managed before the fires and everything to capture all of the peanut statues, 142 statues of the peanuts in pictures and videos, which I have in playlists on the Collab channel, which I've been really proud of. That kept me busy. It took me a year and a half to do all that. Son that makes Santa Rosa and Sonoma County special, the Charles Schultz peanuts.
Yeah, Missy Jenn was a big lover of Peanuts before she came out here
Snoopy
to
and Charlie Brown.
California. And of course, the great Charles Schulz, the cartoonist, lived and worked here. He did all of his work for 40 plus years here in Santa Rosa. And when he passed away, as a tribute to raise money for charities, they created all these Peanuts characters, and they would auction them off, and then the buyers would have them painted, whether it was Dr. Lucy or Dentist Charlie Brown. You know, they would have all these themes things, and Missy Jenn ran around and captured just basically almost all of those. That were she's always been a very driven kind of person to accomplish things. How about we've certainly had our dark moments here. Usually they involve YouTube, and you know, we've had cop raids many times here on the Rancho. But any other anything stand out as dark? You know, one day we had a tweaker, obviously was here, and our property had been violated. But
yeah, but I mean, that was taken care of.
Hey, Cassidy.
Anything negative? I can't really say anything negative. We got the beautiful thing is we got also really good neighbors on that side.
Yeah.
And they got the dogs. They can come over and.
Hey, Davey. Yeah, the thing I think that people have a hard time believing in 5 years, you know, I've, you know, you've certainly never yelled at me, and in that 5 years, I've never yelled at you.
The good thing is that we have actually, and I think that this is the thing that some people still don't know or still don't realize, is that we did start off being in a relationship. And we did come to a conclusion, when was that, last year?
Yeah, I think about a year ago.
About a year ago, that we both felt the same way about that it would be more, we felt more comfortable living as sisters, like sisters together in a sisterly relationship rather than a romantic relationship. And so we have a good base of communication, and so we did have a really serious talk about a year ago, and and move forward in a positive way with that. And
hey, I actually believe it strengthened our relationship. It was a recognition of what was there, but it was also recognition that what holds us together is deeper than that.
right.
And romance, love, you know, that kind of romantic love is not gonna split us apart. And although I can't know exactly what Missy Jenn's future is, her mom has passed away, she will always have a place here on the Rancho if she so chooses, and that's never going to change. And I will always have Missy Jenn's back, and that's not going to change. But you know, life goes in different directions, and I've had to recognize that there may actually be a time that Missy Jenn is somewhere else or has moved on, and I would, you know, pass her along lovingly. You know, one would hope that she's always here on the Rancho, but you know, I'm very happy at this point that she's here, that we've had 5 great years. I don't think we've ever had a fight of any significance ever. I think that's very unusual. We've never yelled at each other or lost our tempers, or, you know, we're pretty easygoing people. You came out of an environment of a lot of yelling and alcoholism and screaming and hooting and hollering. And you came into a pretty peaceful place here.
Yep. So it's been glorious 5 years, and
look at Kurt now. Has Rosie kept you chained up ever since? No, it's been my joy to see Missy Jenn get her strength, her will to live. You know, if it's anything I'll always be proud of, no matter what the future holds, it's the great base of a future that she found here with me on the Rancho, and 5 years of pursuing medical care in University of California, San Francisco. 5 years of a decent climate, 5 years of decent friends, 5 years of decent life, travels, and adventures. I'll always be proud of that. You know, to have done my part to try to give Missy Jenn her life back, you know, and give her hope for the future, and make her think there's something beyond just this small, decaying town in Missouri.
I gotta say that when I was in Missouri and I had kind of given up a little bit, and I was kind of at the point where I felt like I was going towards the end. I was a lot of times losing my speech, and very limited walking. And by Rosie pulling me out of there, bringing me here, she really literally gave me a chance for a new life and to live again and to extend life. And I'm now like almost.
Yeah, well, let me fix this for a minute.
Thanks to the new medication and everything, now we're to the point that the disease has been stopped, and so I'm still battling with a lot of things that I don't talk on YouTube about, because I am just like I was 5 years ago. I just don't talk about things that I'm dealing with. I'm not a person that talks about issues that I'm having. But I am having a lot better quality of life than what I had 5 years ago, health-wise. And I attribute that to Rosie bringing me out here and helping me to get the medical care, and also being here on the Rancho. I've been a lot more active. I've been taking care of the Rancho, being outside, doing some stuff, keeping the house clean inside, and I've been a lot more proactive. Also going out, I do the shopping. And so I just want to, here to the 5-year anniversary, just give Rosie a big hug and say thank you for 5 wonderful years.
Yeah, I hope we have 5 more. You know.
And it's like Rosie said, you never know what the future holds, but you know, we will just at the moment just celebrate what we have and be thankful for each and every single day that we will have in the future, and just take it step by step.
Yeah, make no mistake on this place. And I know some people say, you know, Liz and other people, there's nothing special about me. I mean, this is the specialness of the Rancho here. I'm always glad that Missy Jenn rises above, and she, you know, she sets an example of quiet fortitude, and she makes me glad every day I don't engage in the shit storms and the dragging and the horrors of what YouTube can be. She's done a wonderful job of modeling the what I would call the successful trans life here of humility, humbleness, which is also an edge of, you know, she's got a little wild child in her too. Make no mistake about it. But
yeah, I can be rough sometimes.
Well, it can be rough, but she also, you know, she likes it rough and tumble too. No, make no mistake about it. But I'm always just feeling like, you know, to see when you see that video of her arriving on the Rancho 5 years ago, and it's one of the reasons I'm so glad that I never allowed my channel to be terminated. I always brought it back. I always fought YouTube because there's so much history there. There's so many videos, and although a lot have been removed to be compliant to YouTube, there's so many videos covering our lives and things. When you see Missy Jenn get out that day, yes, of course, we're both younger, but I can absolutely say that she's healthier today than the day that she hit the Rancho. Hey, Kat.
Hey, Kat. Nice to see you.
How you doing, sweetie pie?
Hi, Nathan.
I can honestly say that she's a stronger, more capable, and certainly more accomplished woman today. And I'm, for one, looking forward to seeing what the rest of her life is going to be as long as I'm around. We're always going to be invested into each other. Always be invested into each other. Yeah, thank you, Cornell. Yes, I'm a redneck trailer trash kind of. What's somebody wrote me? You can take the girl out of Baltimore, but you can't take the Baltimore out of the girl. It's very true. So, Missy Jenn, is there anything that you want to accomplish in life? Is there anything you and I both had some spiritual, you know, you've been on much more of a Bible reader for years than I have. And of course, I was raised Catholic, and in 2019, sort of reestablishing myself and coming to terms with my past and who I am, and sort of cleansing my soul as the Catholic Church. Thank you, Cindy, allows. But you've been under, you know, we both think about the burdens also, I think, of being trans in our lives.
Well, I personally don't have any problems with the fact that I am, my transgender history is basically closed, and I have no problem with, I have no regrets. I have my sister sees me as her sister. She addresses me as her sister.
And you lost your mom a couple months ago.
And a lot has not changed with the fact that
Hi, Gigi. Hi, Happy.
Lost my dad 3 years ago, and now lost my mom.
Hey, Gina.
Not too long ago, and
shakes up your world.
So it shakes up the entire world, and so I'm trying to reconnect a little bit spiritually again, and yeah, at the moment, all I can say is my mind is completely boggled. I don't know how else to say it. It's just boggled. I'm totally flabbergasted. You know, when you get to the point where you get, when you get into a certain age and all of a sudden, your parents are gone and pretty much most of your family is all gone.
Yeah.
You get to the point in life where you realize you reach the point where you always thought you'd never get to.
That's it, Gina. Yeah. You reach that point, and it's like, you have to think. I mean, Missy Jenn, she's made no secret of her age. She's going to be 50 this December. I'm the old bat. I was 11 years older, of course, than Missy Jenn, although I'm often act like the kid, and she's.
So it's of course now I look at who's left, and of course now I'm really tight, knitting really close contact with what's left and try to build on that. And yeah, so just I don't know.
She's got things to figure out. We met through YouTube.
It's really hard. So I think just time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell how. I mean, there's weighty decisions to be made. There's no slam dunks. There's no easy answers. Things that may look good today may turn out to be disastrous in the future. Things that look disastrous now may turn out to be good. You never know. It's all about projecting forward and trying to think. And I know Missy Jenn considers, would it be worth reestablishing in Germany again and going back and reconnecting with the, with the community and the people. So issues like that, or, there's a lot of different things. How you doing, Susie? How are you, sweetie? But in the meantime, as we kind of wrap up today, this 5 years of Missy Jenn on the Rancho, she's always been very special to me. She'll always be special to me. And I feel confident she feels the same way about me.
Yeah.
You can't have 5 years with somebody and not have intertwined quite a bit on there. So whatever happens, thank you, Joe Smith. Whatever happens, I'm just very hopeful and very happy for whatever future. Of course, I'll always, as I said in the beginning, she'll always have a place here on the Rancho. Things change. Things could certainly change in my life. Who knows? I'm destined to be on the road. Now I have a high degree of confidence I didn't have before. I could never even imagine myself being on the road. But I know Missy Jenn's happy. I know she's fully capable. I know she likes a quiet environment. She does not like a lot of hooting and hollering and a lot of drama. I know very well she could thrive here and continue to enjoy life. She's certainly ingrained in the community. She knows the community. She has the medical facilities, the people facilities here. Neighbors that care, neighbors that are only a phone call away. Of course, Bobby and the boss and Jen and everybody. There's a good support structure here. Yeah, maybe Jen will clear. I mean, my life is pretty seedy. And
I actually had, when I was doing the transition, my therapist suggested I should write a book about my transition because it was picture perfect. I actually am in a book about my MS. I wrote a short story, and I'm in a book in Germany with my short story as part of a book. But maybe in the future, I might release something, maybe.
Yeah, we met through YouTube, Michelle, through Hangouts, Google Hangouts, the trans community, the dressing community. It's not a very huge community, at least at that time. So people kind of knew of each other. We may not have followed each other, but we knew of each other. So I think you know, who would believe my story, right?
Thank you, Susie.
I think we'll. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and, yeah, there's the car crash on February of 2014 where the drunk woman smashed into the corner of the house here. Left me another mess. Husband and I are celebrating 14 years together.
Congratulations,
man, that is awesome, Cab.
14 years.
You are the best. So I want to thank you guys for sharing a very special day with a very special woman here on the Rancho. 5 years of Missy Jenn being on the Rancho.
Sometimes being a pain in the neck, but still
done with love.
Special woman. Right there.
Bringing up baby.
Learn to love it. Woo.
Some people grow up, some people grow older, right? So anyway, I truly hope, hey, Mom Monique, I truly hope that she has many more years on the Rancho here. We shall see. And, you know, we will see what life brings. So thank you very much, everybody, for celebrating. Yeah, I'm kind of a handful. Celebrating life here with Missy Jenn. I will be back tonight. I will be doing a hangout later. I'm going to be addressing this whole thing about the Lisa Marie, my thoughts on continued thoughts on drama and the difficulties of hangouts and the fine line that you must walk in a community to really be.
Congratulations, Cassidy. 20 years.
Yeah, that's great, Cassidy. For all of you, thank you, RSK, and thank you for everybody. I will see you tonight. We're going to discuss my future on YouTube, and how that intersects with some people and some people's vision of the future, and going and exploring that. So thank you, everybody, for being along today, and thank you again, Missy Jenn.
Humbly and graciously, thank you to each and every one of you. Much love to you. Be kind to each other. Love each other. Do something good for somebody else every single day.
Take care, everybody. Glenda Sully, yeah, Bluebird. If you haven't followed Glenda Sully, please make sure you do. Okay? I love people that celebrate and live real life. Glenda is kind of near and dear to my heart. Check her out, and yeah, tell her Rosie sent you, okay? And if you could put the link to her channel, Odame, that would be great. Thank you, Harvey, Shauna, nice to see you, honey. Thank you for popping by, Nathan, Gimp, everybody else, Kaylee, Tex. Thank you, Bluebird. Y'all take care.